And the pitch.
We deliver baseball caps, mitts, and everything you need for the game. But what you really get is so much more.
FedEx Delivery.
Game day spirit. What we deliver by delivering.
They need to do something better than that.
Blog Talk Radio.
Right? Tired of that lady voice. Yeah. I'm tired of her voice.
Yeah. Hey y'all, it's your girl Sunny. Welcome to tonight's show. Guys, y'all want to say hi?
What's going on, good people? It's your boy Clint. You already know what it is. Got a good show lined up for y'all tonight. What it do?
What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles. What's up?
He said, "What? I can barely hear you, Billy." You sound like you don't want to be heard tonight.
Y'all can hear me?
We hear you.
You sound low.
Oh, okay. Really? That's on low, Clint? I don't know. I can't trust.
Nah, you sound fine. Sound fine to me.
All right.
Well, maybe my volume low. I don't know. Maybe I'm falling. I don't know what's happening in my life right now. So, even listening right now,
these net Obama
phones.
I'm not on the phone. I'm actually direct.
Send her a coupon for a new phone, a track phone.
I'm not even on the phone, y'all. Y'all like straight assholes because I'm directly connected. Not even on the phone. So get y'all live together and get y'all Obama phones and y'all Metro PCS and your freaking cricket plan that don't get text messages that everybody else get.
Got one of refurbished laptop. Feel me?
No, it's a brand new laptop.
Okay.
I hate this. This is what I gotta deal with, y'all. Like y'all listeners don't hear the pettiness that I have to deal with. Like this is y'all get like the sneak peek of what happens before the show or on different days when we're talking about the show. These petty, they petty as fuck. Like y'all think I'm petty. These dudes are petty. They was born and raised as petty. Like they can't even help it. But
introduce the show. I was.
You said what?
Tell the people about the show.
I'm trying, but y'all being petty. Y'all in y'all petty bag today. Anywho, it is October 25th, 2018. I want to say happy birthday to my god sister. I want to say happy birthday to my homeboy Cam. It's your birthday today. Shout out to you people. 2018. If you're listening right now, you're on blogtalkradio.com/GFT radio show. Listen to the playback. You're either on SoundCloud, Google Play Music, iTunes, YouTube, and either Blog Talk Radio or, yeah, that's everything, right?
I think so, yeah. You did good.
You said what?
Round of applause. Right, you did good. Round of applause.
So, yeah, you did great.
Merch.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. You could give them the information. You know the information or no?
Go ahead.
Well, if y'all want to copy some merch, go to teespring.com/stores/GFT radio and copy y'all some, /stores/GFT radio and copy y'all some merchandise. Did I say everything?
And if y'all cop some merchandise, take some pictures. You feel me?
Yes. Exactly.
Tag us in it. You already
add us, hashtag us, all that good stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely.
Oh, you know what? Did you give out our email? Give out our email so if people have topics or anything, suggestions, they can send it to us.
Yeah, so you got topic suggestions. You can email us at GFT. I'm about to say GFT _ GFT radio show is our email at gmail.com. So definitely hit us up and give us some show topics. You can also, if you follow any of us personally or our podcast pages on Twitter or Instagram, you can always direct message us. Let us know, or write on our Facebook wall. Something, let us know, because we definitely do take topic suggestions. So if you suggest a topic and we got something to talk about, we definitely gonna talk about it. So definitely do that. Also, and thank you guys for tuning in to our IG lives on Sundays. We're going to try to keep that going. We see y'all.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely appreciate all the feedback. That way you guys could visually see us at some point in the week and look at our faces and interact with us. And we'll read your comments out as we're going through that. So definitely shout out to y'all for doing that. So we get a lot of feedback on that one, so that's good. I know that y'all like to see us, so that's definitely good. I know somewhere down the line we're gonna go Facebook Live and do it. So or do it. Yeah, I think Facebook Live. We talked about YouTube Live too. So
YouTube Live, YouTube Live, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Clint's not on Facebook, so we can't do Facebook Lives.
We could do Facebook Live. You could do Facebook Live, Clint. This won't be in it. You could do like 15-minute live show, like how we do on IG, but just not unless we can get Clint in the same room.
We talking about a whole show. We talking about a
I was talking about a whole show. Oh, okay. So we just talking about well, pardon me, guys, but yeah.
We got ambitions. As y'all can hear, we have a lot of ambitions, and we will bring them to fruition. We've been pretty good on that, so just be on the lookout. It's coming.
Yep.
Yes.
You gave out the number?
Number is 657-383-1155 for this topic if you guys want to call in. We're talking about Make the Hood Great Again. That's like, that hat is dope as hell, though. I want one.
I know. Now I kind of want one. We need a T-shirt like that. That's what we need. We need one of those T-shirts with that.
I will
make that for the T-shirt.
You think Trump will sue us?
He might. Like, you know what? No BS, and I'm gonna say this because I posted on my Facebook. I said Trump been sending them bombs. I don't care what nobody say. Every bomb. like we don't know who sent it. Like, really, they sent it to CNN. Everybody that
Let's say that for the after show. Let's say that because I want to explore that topic. Let's say that to the after show.
That popped in my head though. I definitely. That's how I feel personally. That's my own opinion, guys. But anyway, I don't know how y'all feel, but that's how I feel. But anywho, we're gonna jump right into this topic. I know Clint is the one that came up with this one topic. So Clint, you want to share how we got here?
Well, technically, I really didn't come up with it. I just had threw out a title. I think really the one that got in depth. It came to me. Like I said, it was real random. We were trying to find a topic, and at the same time, when we was texting each other, like I said, I had just got the shower, and neighbor had knocked on my door, and he was asking. I was talking to him through my window, my upstairs window. He was on my porch. He was asking, was cans day tomorrow? The recycling. He was like, recycling tomorrow? And we just had a quick conversation. Told him it was, and when it actually wasn't, so I had to when I was leaving out, I had to go back and knock on his door and let him know I was wrong. It's like, no, it wasn't. It's next week. But anyway, it got me to thinking about the relationship with neighbors. Like, how many neighbors are we really cool with? Like, in our neighborhood, like, who do we feel comfortable with knocking on their door asking for information like that, or anything. Where's the community? Where's the communication? And then at the same time, like I said, when I was leaving, I had a little thing in my mailbox talking about a community meeting, because there's a lot of changes going around in the community, building new stuff, so they want to get the community input. And it also got me wondering, well, how many people from the community are actually going to go, or are even interested in going, or even care about what's happening in the neighborhood, or do they just so-called been trying to get out instead of trying to improve?
Yeah.
So, and then I think Willie could expand on what he took from that and how deep he got with it as well.
Yeah, so I mean, like you said, the one thing I kept thinking about was, the impact or the the involvement that people had in the neighborhoods back in the day. I know when I was growing up, we had neighborhood watch. We had, other parents on the same block or on the next block that looked out for the kids. I remember walking down the street. We had to, walk 4 or 5 blocks to school. And, as you walk through the hood, there were certain either parents or groups of people that would be kind of looking out for the kids, making sure the kids made it to school, that kind of thing. And, so you just, you knew people took an interest in preserving or uplifting the neighborhood. And I don't know when that changed, but it seemed like 15, 20 years ago, things just kind of took a dive. At least I know in my area, where and listening to my parents talk, it wasn't even actually that great when I was a kid. They felt like it had already taken a downfall in terms of the involvement by the time I was a kid. So it just seems like over time, that interest and that love for the hood has dwindled. But I have been seeing people, trying to take the neighborhoods back, trying to get people involved, trying to get people to care again. You know what I mean? And I think that, the big thing is, what does it take? What can you do? And, what's the best way to get people involved? So, so I definitely feeling the topic. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, because when he mentioned the topic, I immediately thought about how different things are now compared to how we was when we was growing up. I would say I know it's a change after I graduated high school. It was completely different. It wasn't like how it was when we grew up. It's interesting to see that pretty much nobody really cares. Like how they cared when we were you talk about neighborhoods growing up where like you said the people will watch you. You knew that if you did something wrong, somebody's gonna tell your mama, whether it was right directly around the corner, around the block, or on your actual street. Everybody knew everybody. Everybody knew who mom was who. Whether you was in that neighborhood or not, people knew your parents, and they knew to make sure you was good, or if you was doing something, they was gonna tell your mother or your dad, and something was gonna happen by the time you got home because they didn't already hold three different stories about what you did. So, and it was a big extended family.
I totally agree with you on that part as far as extended family. I know in my neighborhood, out East Trenton, a lot of people had lived around here for a lot of years. Mm-hmm. And I got a lot of family out here that I don't even know. That's why I'm in conflict with it, because I got a lot of family out here in my own community, extended to communities a few blocks that I don't even know. You understand? So I'm also with Willie as far as to I think during our childhood, that's when that really disconnect started to really manifest itself. And then we gotta, we grew up in the crack era. Mm-hmm. Our generation, me, you, and Willie, our generation grew up in that crack era where crack hit heavy when we were children, when we were kids, adolescents, and that ravaged the community. You feel me? That ravaged black communities.
True, very true.
Yeah, ravaged black communities across the United States. So a lot of that bubbling distrust that was already there, that was already starting to manifest itself, once that crack era hit, it exploded. So now everybody, you couldn't even trust some people in your own house, let alone your neighbor, because you didn't know what was going on. You didn't know people were stealing out of people's backyards, people were breaking into houses. You know what I mean? Not for money, but not for your money, just to go buy drugs. You understand? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To satisfy that desire. So, during my childhood, that's when that's when that real distrust for my surroundings and some of my neighbors, manifested. Because I'm like, even though it was still some sort of community, us looking after each other, things started to happen. People started to do things to where, it's like, man, I don't trust nobody. You got to watch your neighbors now. And then, different people start moving into our neighborhood. And, that's when that distrust, now you don't trust them because, like, where they come from, how they living, what type of shit they into. You know what I mean? So it was, it's like it's a conflict when I think about make the hood great again. I'm trying to figure out, was the hood ever really great? It had some great aspects to it. You know what I mean? It has some good things to it, but it always had that dark side, that criminal element to it that perforated through the hood, because at the same time we all still lived, the majority of us still lived in, I want to say like poverty. Yeah, poverty is the right word. A lot of us lived in poverty or just barely making ends meet, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So like I don't. When we talk about make the hood great again, are we talking about, like, what are we talking? Because the same thing when people say make America great again, we first say, well, what are you talking about? What aspect of America are you talking about was great? So when we talk about the hood and make the hood great again, all right, what part of the hood are we talking about? You know what I mean? What part of the hood is great?
I feel like the camaraderie and the love of the atmosphere that you felt in the hood is what I want back. I want that old feeling back, like you said, where you felt like people, one, when you felt like people cared, two, when you felt like you didn't have to feel like the people in your neighborhood were a threat. You know what I mean? Outsiders, we always felt like outsiders were somebody to look out. We have to look out and see what they're doing, why they there, what's going on. But when it came to people on your block, when it came to people in your hood, you didn't feel like you were, threatened by that situation. I mean, I think some of it may have been naivety because we didn't know, you know what I mean? Because, when you look back now and you see all the news reports and all the stuff about, things that people have done to little kids, people have done to each other and all that kind of stuff over the, back in the past, you kind of have to look back like, damn, what was really going on back then. But, but past that, I'm thinking that, I just look at my neighborhood back when I was a kid. This two streets that I went, up and down, played on, had friends all up and down. I mean, it was like, besides this one house, because like you said, crack hit the neighborhoods hard. We had a crack house on our block, but besides that one house, there wasn't nowhere I felt like I couldn't go, and I was among friends or I was among people who felt like family. I mean, to this day, a friend of mine, he just posted about his mom, celebrating her 80th birthday. And I'm like, tell mama I said, happy birthday. I feel like she's one of my moms, I probably had 12 moms on that block. Brothers, sisters, all that, we knew we could, not only there was a comfort level, but, there was a trust level that was there where it was like, we all in this together. We all, it's us against the world. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like, if something was popping off, somebody was looking out for you. And somebody was there. I mean, like, my introduction to that neighborhood was there was a car accident right outside my, because I stayed on a corner house. And, like, right in the middle of the intersection, there was a car accident, and one of the cars ran right up through my front yard and hit the porch. So literally like 20, 30 people came out, not just to gawk, but to make sure we was all right. I mean, one of the neighbors came, knocked on the door, came to check, make sure nobody was in the front room, make sure everybody was all right. One of the other neighbors, when we came out, they was checking on us, making sure we was good. It was like, and then even I think it was one of the people who was in the accident they weren't from the street, but they was from the neighborhood. People was trying to help them get out the car, trying to check on them. People genuinely cared, you know what I mean? So, you don't see that a lot nowadays. People, there's a whole movement about mind your business, which some of it is about the fact that some people don't know how to mind their business because they get involved in the wrong way. But then there's also, the issue of people who are getting involved or not getting involved when they should be getting involved. They're watching things happen. I don't know when it happened, but there was a situation where I guess 37 people literally watched somebody get murdered and did nothing about it. There was a situation about not even, I want to say 6 months ago, where a kid got stabbed walking down the street or got attacked and then got stabbed and then literally bled out right in front of a hospital. Nobody helped him. It's like stuff like that. It's sad to me because you think, human decency would prevail, but it doesn't. You see people all the time world starring and filming and all that other stuff while things happen around them and they don't do anything about it, or they don't take the time to think, oh, maybe I should call the police, or maybe I should call, maybe I should get this person help, or whatever the case may be. It's ridiculous because even human decency doesn't win out in those situations. But back then, it felt like, not only was it human decency, but it was just a genuine, we want the best for our neighborhood was the feeling you got at that time.
Yeah. I don't know, I think, like Willie, the pitch, to kind of go back to what Willie said and kind of piggyback off that, the sense of family and people really genuinely caring. We all have nosy neighbors and things like that, but at the end of the day, it was, I remember growing up in my neighborhood that I grew up in out in West Trenton, and I remember this house fire, our next door neighbor house caught on fire. It was, I believe it was sometime in the middle of the night, and just to see so many people out there helping out and just being there because this family just we all grew up together, and to see them lose their house and just be in disbelief and shock and everything, and just getting safe to get out the house while it's on fire, and to see the community get together and be there for that family and take them in, just do human shit like that, care and genuinely show compassion and not like what he said, being that I don't care, it's not my business, let me stay over here. Even my neighbor now, my old neighbor, she passed. I didn't even know she passed until a couple months after the fact, and I see her all the time. And for a while I didn't see her, and I just figured that she may have gotten sick and she was working through it because she was older. And then to find out she passed, and she used to look out for me. Even my neighborhood now is not like that, but I had this neighbor that, and we genuinely, she needed something, she could knock on my door. If I needed something, she could knock on my door. If my daughter ever left her key, she could sit in her house. If I ever got a package, if she saw somebody suspicious looking by my house, she would come take it and call me and say it's at my, just that. Somebody caring that's not related to you, but cares enough to make sure that you're okay, and just for the most simplest things that you don't think about. And it's not like that no more. Everybody don't care. You got these kids running them up, tearing up the neighborhoods, and these parents don't care. And and it's just not what we grew up. We had bad kids in our neighborhood too, and you knew that if you was bad and you did some stuff, somebody's parent was gonna yell at you like they was. Like they was your mom, and your mom wouldn't even get mad anymore because she knew that if they yelled at you, it was for a reason. We don't have that no more. Everybody's minding their business. Somebody could break in my house right now, and everybody in this neighborhood now would just be about their business and wouldn't care. So that's what I miss. That's why I mean by bring it back and make it great again. That's what I mean by it.
All right, I can dig that. Okay, so we talking about what was missed. That particular point y'all talking about, that camaraderie that togetherness or what have you, how do we begin to get that back? What steps
gotta have
do we
people that
take?
care about their neighborhoods.
But how do we get people to care about the neighborhood? Like, how can? You know what I mean, what steps can we do individually?
So I think a lot of the movements that are going on right now are helpful in terms of not only neighborhood improvement, because we really need the local governments to be involved in this, as well as the businesses and things of that nature. But I think not only that, but we also need to just try to embrace our neighbors, right? And say, hey, there are other people who care. It's just not just you, that kind of thing. Because I know for a while when I was living in this one neighborhood, it felt like nobody cared, like nobody gave a damn, right? And then there was, kind of like similar to the notice you got about I forgot what it was, like a neighborhood community meeting or something like that. Stuff like that started to get generated. And then it felt good to know that, okay, there's other people out here who do care. I mean, it's not that I thought that, like, I was the only person in the whole neighborhood that cared, but it was like just to know that there could be more people who could organize and get together and say, hey, you know what? Let's get back together and figure out the best way to make this neighborhood flourish, to make it comfortable for our neighbors and the kids and the things that are going on. They did things like neighborhood what they call it, like recreation programs. They did things like making sure vacant house lots got cut, that kind of thing. There was different little things that the community did for the betterment of the community. I mean, like I said, it would be nice if we had the government involvement, the business involvement, but sometimes we just had to do it for ourselves. I know right now there's a couple of programs in Detroit where in different neighborhoods there's community gardens that are being put in place. There's like in the neighborhood I just moved out of, they had a farmer's market that they set up, to kind of revive not only the spirit of community, but the spirit of being able to have your own little small business in the community and be able to support each other, that kind of thing. Doing things like that, I think, makes people feel more proud of their community. It feels more involved in what's going on. Things like that I think are essential to getting people more involved, especially if you got a community full of kids. You have to cater to those families, so then that way they feel like there's a reason to stay in those neighborhoods. Because I know I moved out of a neighborhood years ago with my young kids because we just didn't feel safe anymore for the kids. My kids couldn't go outside and play without getting picked on or bullied or seeing stuff they shouldn't be seeing because of what was going on in the hood. So it was, and that's the other thing is, and I kind of feel bad about it because I'm like, now I feel like, we're at a point now where we can't just up and leave and then run away from what's happening, because we have to look at how do we get ourselves involved in making it better so that way other people don't have to leave and we can kind of keep that cohesiveness together of people who care and who can keep that neighborhood going. Because if we all just leave, the neighborhood dies. And the people who can't leave get left behind in a bunch of mess that they now can't handle. So I think it's, one of my old ex-classmates, from back in the day, he was telling me about, different neighborhoods where, it's gotten that bad where, so many people have left, it's just nothing but criminal element moves in because there's nothing left. Or you have nothing left, and then that neighborhood is literally 1-2 houses and a bunch of vacant houses everywhere, which creates a problem for that neighborhood when you have nothing left but, 1 or 2 people living in the area. So it's, it's the state that we're in that we do have to just kind of do this for ourselves as a community and build it up.
Yeah. Definitely. Oh, Jesus.
What about you? What do you think, Sonny? What is your? No, I mean, what do you suggest?
Just more well, I see it around my area, but I'm never invited around. But around near me, they have this one street. They have like little block parties where they go out to the houses in the area, except for mine. I don't know why I'm never invited, but since I've been living here, they've been doing it, and they have like a big block party. Like they do it on their own. Like how the city of Trenton has National Night Out. I don't know if you guys have that, Willie. But like out even outside of that, like they have like random cookouts and like little block parties, and they get everybody to pitch in, so all the neighbors get together and buy stuff, and they out front they have speakers, they do like the big blow up thing for the kids, all this stuff. I think when you do stuff like that on a consistent basis, it kind of gives that family kind of vibe, because now you're out, you're with your neighbors, you're talking to them, Like it doesn't have to be like a community leader doing it, or like a mayor or something. It could just be like that neighborhood. Let's get together and have cookouts. We did that when I grew up in the neighborhood. We did that. Like if somebody's mom had a cookout, the whole neighborhood was invited and everybody came, and that's how you get to know your neighbors. You get to talk to them and things like that, and you get to know them in that way. You get that sense of, this is our neighborhood, we're gonna protect it. Type of, because everybody knows everybody, and it's not like, oh, I just see you, she always goes in the house, she doesn't really stop and talk. And I know that some people, we have nosy neighbors, but I think that type of situation would be good, because you get to know these people, and it builds that community, it builds that family, and then it kind of leads, it builds off that. Like now you want to make sure that somebody is safe, And because now you know so-and-so, you're going to make sure that when they leave for work every day, that make sure that nobody's breaking into their house, just stuff like that. Or that their kids are outside being respectful and playing, like how they supposed to be, all that stuff. But that comes with knowing who's in your neighborhood, and, talking to them and spending time with them and getting to know them. I think that does a lot for it.
I got a couple things. First, real simple. First one is real simple. Speak. You know what I mean? I've noticed, some of my neighbors are dope. I mean, let's not get that twisted. Got one neighbor, every time she say, "Hey, neighbor," she got her kids saying it. "Hey, neighbor." You know what I mean? People right next door to me, cool. Sometimes, we speak all the time, short conversation. It don't have to be nothing too deep or too personal. Talking about the weather, you know what I mean? Talking about, sports, or just random things. Or just saying hello when you're walking down the street. How you doing? Waving. It was so shocking one time to I guess one of my neighbors had a little gathering, and her family came, and they was from, I guess, another side of town. And, it was different for them when they were parked right in front of my house. And as people were riding by, it was like rapid. People the horn at me, other people walking by, shaking my hand. And it just happened, like 6 people real quick. And she rolled down the window. She was like, this your neighborhood, huh? Like, everybody. Like, I'm like, that's just how I am. That's just, who we are. We speak. You feel me? It ain't really that deep. Some of them I knew for years. Some of them I barely know. We just continuously speak. So I think that builds a camaraderie. You know what I mean? That builds you build a rapport with people when you just speak. And then
I was saying, it builds a rapport with them. Yep, exactly.
You know what I mean? Exactly. And then again, you know, take pride in the appearance of your neighborhood.
Mhm.
You know, clean up. You know,
I have the one guy that sweep up every day. Every morning he's out there. This is Hispanic. They're at the store down the street. That man sweeps down everything every morning. Him and then the lady across the street, they sweep everywhere.
And in my neighborhood, I feel like everybody should do it at least once. You should look out your window at some point in time and see at least every one person one time from each house cleaning up in front of their house, and not just their house, just any vicinity. You know, I know my neighbor sometimes, like when he's, you know, like you know, trimming the hedges, or not like the hedges, but the grass out front and the weeds. He'll even do something in front of my house. When it snows outside, he'll probably shovel a little bit in front of my house. Sometimes if I get out there first, I shovel and ice and throw some salt down in front of their house. You know, stuff like that. You know, just keeping up appearance, keeping up, you know, real simple things. And then on a larger scale, a lot of us need to, you know, we need to have more stores. You know what I mean? Like black-owned stores in our neighborhood. And we need to support those black-owned stores. You know, businesses, period, in the neighborhood. We need more black businesses in the neighborhood. You feel me? And then that'll give us more pride as well, because now we see one of us, you know, and not just one of us, more, you know, because we got a black-owned store around here, a little soul food spot around here, but that's it. You know, we more than just soul food. You know what I mean? We open up a plethora of business. You know, we had barbershops out here before. You know what I mean? Do different things instead of just, you know, the same thing, bars and all the normal stuff that's expected of us to have in our neighborhoods. Bring some different type of businesses, and it's up to us to do that. You know what I mean? These abandoned, you know, a lot of our neighborhoods, and this is applicable to, you know what I mean, ghettos across hoods across the country. A lot of our hoods, and Willie had mentioned it, you know, got abandoned housing.
Oh yeah.
You know, we gotta do something about that. You know, tonight, like I said, I went to my parent-teachers conference. Me and my daughter, her mother, we went there and me and her was talking. You know, the city council was tonight, and I was like, I want to get back because it's been a minute since I've been in city council meeting. I want to get back there, and I want to talk to them and get it about the abandoned houses, seeing what's going on with that. Like, fix up these abandoned houses. You feel me? Because it's a plight. I mean, like it make the city look bad. You feel me? Then when you got kids coming outside and all you see is boarded up houses, you feel me? Like you don't have no pride in that. You feel me? What incentive do you have to keep the neighborhood looking clean? You understand? When you got, you know, houses, like there's one right on the corner right here, and it's like falling apart. It's like they got caution tape up. Like the house is falling apart. It used to be a store. It used to be a black-owned store. You know what I mean? And, you know, it's been abandoned for about, I say, what am I, about to be 35 in a couple weeks. I say about 17, 18 years. You know what I mean? Since anybody used it. And, you know, it's falling apart. It's falling apart. One building, one house on the corner, it used to be a store, a liquor store. No, a bar, excuse me. It used to be a bar. Same thing. A couple years ago, it just collapsed. You understand? So it's like, why we, you know, stuff like that needs to be fixed. And it's up to the people in the community.
Yeah.
Because if not, they're not going to care. If they're not going to care, you feel me, that nothing's going to get done. And this next generation, they're not going to care. And they're not going to have no pride. They just going to want to get out.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that. I've seen that here. I mean, we have this little city, Highland Park, right? And Highland Park is like right in the middle of Detroit. Not in the middle, but it's like it's engulfed by the city of Detroit. So, it's gone through a lot of transition, a lot of issues, declare bankruptcy, all that kind of stuff. But at one point, they did, try to revitalize. A bunch of businesses came in, rebuilt part of their kind of their commerce area. There was some new houses put in the area, that kind of thing. They tore down a lot of old businesses, a lot of old buildings that were no longer in use and that was just dilapidated. And I think it kind of revitalized some of that area, for a long time, because it was, so, what's the word used, so, I mean, it was like desperate, right? You could tell people just felt, down because they was in an area where, I mean, you couldn't really get a job in your own city. You had to go to a whole other city to get a job, or a whole other county. I mean, luckily they weren't too far from the next county, but still, having to take, and go that far out of your way just to get a job in the area, out of the area, that kind of thing. But the revitalization, I think, gave them some pride. I mean, you go down that area, through that area, everything was always clean, everything's always well kept, and for a long time. I mean, now it's still, I think it's still, looking pretty good. Could probably be a little bit, better, but it's one of those areas where you can tell that they take care of it, you know what I mean? And I'm sure there's a pride level to that, because it's like, hey, we got to take care of this, because this is kind of the bread and butter. And you go into a neighborhood where, there was once, nothing but dilapidated buildings or abandoned houses and things like that, and now you see where they've torn that stuff down, torn that stuff out, they've put in a community garden in, and now people are taking care of it. You see people taking turns cleaning it up, keeping the area clean, keeping the weeds down, or you see in situations where, people may rebuild houses, or a developer comes in, rebuilds houses in a neighborhood, and people come in and now they're renting or buying and building up that neighborhood again. So people, they will take pride when things are changing and when things are being done. When things are on the downturn, it depresses people. It makes them not want to be in that area, or makes them either want to escape out of it or not take care of it. Like you said, it will, that becomes generational. It goes down to the kids and the kids' kids and things like that. So for people to continue to maintain that pride, you have to give them something to be proud of. But then, at that point, it has to become a mindset for the whole neighborhood or for the whole community, is to keep that up, at that point.
Yeah, I know the streets. When I go down the streets that I grew up in, some of the neighborhoods have completely changed to where they look so different than what I grew up in. And then you have some that are like a bit, like you said, they're abandoned and the built. It's just interesting to see how it goes to that. But then that's part of the people that own those buildings chose to just let that building go for whatever reason, because they didn't want to fix it, and it shouldn't. And then that's why you get all those sales where they selling these houses for so cheap that hopefully people buy them and restore them and then rent them out or sell them, because it's a lot of these landlords that either were crappy landlords and didn't want to do what they supposed to do, so the place fell under, and they figured they cut their losses and not keep up with it and just let it go. And then, the city owned it, so it got boarded up until they decided something to do with it. And it's just sad. It should be a better way to do that type of thing, and it shouldn't take as long to get it out of the city hands and sold. Well, depending on the neighborhood, that's probably why it takes longer to sell. But it just got to be something better, because, like, there's a lot of people living in houses and all these housing projects, and they could be living in neighborhoods. But when you go down these streets and you see all these abandoned houses in rows, it's just ridiculous. Like Clint said, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. And that's my, I guess that's my my thing about making make the hood great again. It's like it's gonna take a huge effort. It's gonna take a huge effort. Not only that, it's gonna take a huge change in thought processes for people. There got to be a mental shift. You know, people have been, you know, we're at a state now to where, you know, it's like we don't have no self-worth as a group. Like we talked about this in previous shows. There's no unity. It's unity in section. You feel in sects, I should say. That's a better, you know what I mean? Like you'll have a certain sect over here, you know, they're trying to do something, and certain sect over here, but they can't come together for whatever reason to make it huge because, you know, politics or, you know, we got a savior complex. We're looking for somebody to come in the hood to save us, you know, to resurrect us, or we have to resurrect ourselves individually. And I think that's where it started at too, is in the home. And my thing is, you know, how many people really love living in the city they're in? Everybody I know wants to leave Trenton. You know what I mean? Because they see no hope. You feel me? They see no source of prosperity. They just don't see it. So it's like, why are we here? You know, some people almost feel ashamed that they have to raise their kids here and send their kids to school here.
Yeah. I think it depends.
So when we're talking about making...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, because I'm one of them people, like, I feel like, and I always find myself in like, talking to friends, and when I talk about Trenton Public Schools, yeah, it's a headache and stuff. Like, when I'm talking about the different stuff that's going on in the city, and then I say to them, well, it's happening elsewhere, too. It's not just here. And they're like, well, no, because this school, and it's like, no. Like, I think a lot of people get in their mindset, especially about, well, I don't know about Willie Tilly too, but I think it's every city. People feel like it's just the worst place to be in, or they get that idea that they don't want to be stuck in this in the same town and not. It's one thing. Like, I feel like this. I've left the city of Trenton many a times, and I get that it's just my home. I grew up in it, so this is home to me. No place is ever going to be home. But I think that people forget that you don't. It's not being stuck in Trenton. You can always go outside of Trenton and see other sides of Trenton. You know, or not. I'm not outside of Trenton, but like other sides of everywhere. You don't have to stay stuck. I think people just get stuck and feel like they can't go anywhere, and they can. They limit themselves, so they never see anything but Trenton, and that's why they get miserable and tired of Trenton, because you don't go nowhere. What do? Like, you have to go outside of it, because at the end of the day, you could say Trenton is the worst city ever to you because you grew up in it, and every time you turn around, it's blah, 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 this, that, and the third. And then, like, when you read the paper and stuff happening in Trenton, and people like, oh, well, I'm glad I left Trenton. Where you live at is probably worse.
What about the people who do travel? See, I know people who've been traveling. We got our passports. People done, you know what I mean, been here, there, whatever. A whole up and down the whole East Coast, Midwest. You know, travel West Coast. Been in Canada. Been to different. You know what I mean. I know people travel. You know what I mean. Like I said, me myself, I've traveled. It's not a state and the major thing on the East Coast that I damn near haven't seen yet, except for probably Disney World. You know what I mean?
Oh, I've seen there. I've been there.
And I've been there, but I've been in Miami Beach, been there, just didn't go see Disney World. But that's neither here nor what I'm saying is those people still feel like they don't want to live here. It ain't just that.
That's fine, but don't bash the city, though.
But
I mean,
tell me,
I do not want to live there all the time.
This is my thing.
Yeah, but that's the only thing is that they bash the city because they don't want to be there. They don't really care at that point. They stop caring.
It's fact.
Because I love like I went down south. I went to different parts of the South every summer as a kid. I love the South. Like, I love the fuck out of it. Like, just the calm, the relax, the people that's happy and, like, living it, like, just happy. When I come back to Trenton, people are hostile. I'm used to it. Like, they won't speak. You say good morning, they like, whatever, bitch, I don't even know you. Or, like, they look at you like, why are you talking to me? I get that. And you talking to somebody that has went down almost every part of the South that I can go to. That I haven't been everywhere, but I've been almost everywhere, and I love the hell out of it. I love to go down there. Is it home for me? No, it's not. And I can see the difference of me living there than living here because I've lived there at points, and I loved it. But I still, regardless of how people think my city is the worst city, I love the hell out of Trenton. Nothing's going to be Trenton. Nothing's going to be that. But I can say that if I was to go somewhere, I would probably go south. But guess what? Trenton is still always my home, and I don't have to, like, that's what I don't like. Don't bash it. You don't have to live here. That's fine. You wanted to get out and go elsewhere. That's great. High five to you.
I'm not mad. Yeah, like, I'm not mad at somebody if they, you know what I mean? You can't get mad at somebody's experience. You feel me? Like, you can't get mad if they had a horrible experience here. So if they hate the city, you know, they hate the city. You know, people have lost relatives here.
I lost
you know what I mean? Murdered. Me too. I mean, I go on about grandfather. But that's your experience. This is my experience. So just because you still love the city, that doesn't mean I have to. That doesn't mean somebody else have to. You understand? And, you know, because, like, we gloss over the violence here. Like, I still, you know, I let my daughter go out and play. But,
I ain't going.
She in the eye shot. See? Some people don't let, and, like, I can't really promote or say how much great a city is if I'm scared to let my kids go out and play.
That's it. Or my daughter won't go out and play.
You feel me? Like, who would you tell? Yeah, man, come on, man, you come stay in city. My city good. Only thing is, you gotta watch your kids when they outside, cause you know niggas be shooting randomly. They don't care who they hit. You feel me? I have been warned from people, you know, that I know that's gang affiliated. Be like, look, bro, you know, tell such and such, watch what's going on down there or around, cause niggas gonna come through. They shooting it up, and they don't care who they hit.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, I don't want to, like, why do I have to subject my child to that?
And I agree, but see, and I agree with you. I agree.
That's not in every city.
Go outside and
can't
play.
say that's in every city.
It's not in every city, but, no, it's not in every city, but it doesn't just happen in Trenton, New Jersey.
Yeah,
that's what I'm getting at.
But when somebody said they want to move or go somewhere,
you go right across the bridge, right to Philly, and you can get shot, you can get beat the fuck up.
You're missing my point. Who says if I don't want to live here? Everybody not saying they want to move to another ghetto. You understand? That's not what they're saying. So it's not like, okay, I want to leave Trent. All right, I'm gonna move to Compton. or I'm gonna move right to the middle of the hood in Chicago, or like you said, I'm gonna move right to the ghetto of Philly, or forget just moving out of Trenton. I'm gonna move to Newark. I'm gonna move to Camden, who is perennially the #1 worst city in America. That's not that far from us, and they don't even like to come to Trenton because they think we crazy.
Yeah, shit.
You're not talking about leaving. You're not talking about leaving one destitute situation and moving into another. We're talking about people want to move to better places, to where the chances, it can happen anywhere at any given time in the best of neighborhoods, but the actuality and the percentage of it really happening is lower. You feel me? We was just on CNN a few months ago, the city, shooting at the art all night.
Yeah.
How many people got hurt? You feel me? I knew the dude got killed. He used to live right around the corner, grew up with it, knowing. The other one they shot at was one of my closest friends, his little cousin. That survived. That they about. I know these people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was asked to go to that art all night after I left away. I said, nah.
Yeah, my sister was asking.
I ain't going down there.
My sister was there and she asked me to go.
And what happened? So it's like, okay, we love our city, but like, you feel me? We love the hood.
City, but I love it.
And we want to make the ghetto, the hood great again. But we got to get rid of that violence, man. Got to get rid of that. And like,
yeah,
I don't see how
some of that. Yeah, some of that's involved in getting, a certain element out of the hood or out of the area, but that's like you said, that's a huge undertaking, right? Because you're relying on law enforcement, you're relying on community involvement in terms of community policing, you're relying on a lot of different factors there, because the atmosphere has to be right. Like I said, there's certain areas in Detroit where you move so many people out, the criminal element moves in or proliferates and gets bigger, so it makes it more of a challenge to deal with that on a day-to-day basis. I mean, there's certain neighborhoods I know I don't even go into during the day, let alone at night, and I definitely wouldn't want to live there, in that area. But it's there's people that have that live there or that have to or whatever the case may be, and they have to deal with that on a day-to-day basis. But like I mean, like Sonny said, it does happen. It can happen anywhere. It can happen everywhere. But I feel you, Clint. If you're in an area where you feel like you're not safe or your kids aren't safe, you're not going to be happy-go-lucky about the area. You're not going to be, all gung-ho about it. So, but, I mean, I think that a lot of times people have to understand that, it takes more than just one thing to make the neighborhood better or to make, those situations better, because some people will be like, oh, we need the mayor to do this, or we just need the police to do that, but it's a combination. I think people have to understand that we do need the community to be involved. We do need to have block watches. We do need to have people really involved in the neighborhood and really, saying, hey, we don't want a certain element in our neighborhood. We don't want gangs. We don't want drugs. We don't want this and that, and push that stuff out. I mean, when it's apparent and it's, what's the word? When it's more people than not that's saying, hey, we're not going to deal with this. We're going to keep up our neighborhood. We're going to keep up our spot. Some people just not going to, the criminal, most of the criminal elements going to be like, you know what, I don't want to deal with that. I'm just going to, go somewhere else where, I can either, sell drugs or do this or I mean, if everybody's looking, you're not about to be robbing houses. They say most people who commit robbery are definitely not about that life. They don't want to deal with the violence that comes with catching somebody in the house at the time. They don't want to deal with somebody being there or deal with somebody catching them in the act, that kind of thing. They're not usually ready for that. They don't want that. They don't want that problem. So a lot of times they'll just move on to areas where they know people aren't watching or people aren't paying attention or people don't care, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, things as simple as that, will help. It's not 100% foolproof. It's not going to be the be all end all, because you're still going to have people who are going to want to do what they want to do anyway. Still got crazy people out here. We still got people who are going to, who's still going to want to shoot somebody or kill somebody for whatever reason they want to do that for, if it's mental health or depression or whatever the case may be, or they're just crazy, whatever it is. You're still going to have people who want to still get away with whatever they're trying to get away with, that kind of thing, But, when it comes to, I would say a good majority of it, a lot of it would be
squashed or reduced from neighborhood pride, people being involved, and like you said, just not running out of their neighborhood because things are starting to get rough. It's like we gotta be there for each other, that kind of thing. I mean, when you get to a certain point when you just are fed up, I think that's when people, say, hey, you know what, I'm out of here. They can't deal with it. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to have to go through that. And that becomes a sad situation because you start to lose the neighborhood at that point, when people start to get fed up, when people don't feel safe and they don't feel like there's any
thing worth
hope,
fighting for.
No, exactly, nothing worth fighting for. And we just gotta get to a point where we don't get to that bad where it's not worth fighting for. Just can't get that bad.
Yeah.
But it takes work. It takes a lot of work.
Indeed. All right, guys, we're in our after show. Yeah, I want to give out the number again, 657-383-1155. You tweet us at GFT_radio if you want to hit us up on Twitter. Now, we're going to talk about this Trump sending the packages or no?
Now, before we start, I just want to say I have little knowledge on this. I haven't been following the story. So I'm behind on y'all when it comes to this, and y'all got to educate me.
Yeah.
Okay. So, apparently.
Go ahead, Sonny.
So apparently, the other day, or in recent, I think it was today and the other day, in the last couple of days, somebody was sending packages to different people in the Democratic Party, including Obama, Hillary. They tried to send something to Biden, but it got sent to the wrong address. They sent it to a couple people. They sent it to CNN. They sent it to Robert De Niro because, he just was bashing Trump. So all the people that Trump don't like or who don't like Trump got sent these bombs that weren't, they were bombs, but they weren't, what was it? I can't, I want to think of the word of it. It wasn't active or live. Like it wasn't going to detonate.
It wasn't live.
Yeah, it wasn't live. But nonetheless, they sent bombs, and whoever it was sending it, some to the right address, but it got intercepted by the U.S. Marshals that protect these people. And then some, they would send it to the wrong address. One got sent to Robert De Niro's restaurant. And then one got sent to the Time Warner building for CNN. And basically, they were pipe bombs. They were shown that they were actual bombs, and if they had been live, they could have gone off. And I personally feel like they're like, we gotta figure out who it come from. One of the packages had the return the sender was one of somebody else, a Democratic Party leader, and it basically was falsely originated from her place. So when they tried to deliver it to the place it was supposed to go to, it got sent back to her place. Her building. So it's crazy. People are crazy. So.
Yeah. So I was just looking at the thing about the return addresses. All went back to Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz in Florida, and they're thinking that that it is indeed originating from there, but of course not from her, but from that area. So they said they're turning their attention, to Florida. But the thing is, I mean, they sent, I think it was 10 bombs so far, and they think there's more. They're going to either turn up or be sent out if they don't, figure out who's sending these things. What was it? They said De Niro's bomb has been sitting in the mailroom at Tribeca Productions since last Tuesday, and they finally, realized what it was after the news and all that stuff. And then, the one, like you said, there was another one that was returned to sender. I mean, this whole bomb thing has been crazy. I mean, I don't really know what the thought process is of sending bombs to people that aren't active. I mean, some of them, I think they said some of them were active, though, because the one that went to George Soros' house, I believe that one was active, if I'm not mistaken. that was one of the first ones found. I think the ones to Clinton and Obama were inactive, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not, like you said, I'm not.
It said Hillary's people and Obama's people, they checked their mail anyway, so they found it. So it never was like it never made it into their house.
Here's what I did gather. They were all people who Trump had some sort of diatribe with, or some sort of issue back and forth with.
Mm-hmm.
Every single person who received the bomb. That's what I did gather.
Yeah, that's why I said Trump sent it. And I'm only speculating. It's not true, but I just find it peculiar that everybody that like you said, everybody that he went back and forth with or went on the rant about him publicly, that's who all got sent it. So I just feel like that's some old interesting stuff.
This is what I don't want to happen though. My bad, Willie. You go ahead. I was just about to say I don't want to happen that people don't, you feel me, take this lightly. Like this really isn't, like that's real. That's domestic terrorism. Like they are trying to terrorize. What they're trying to do is stop people. You know what I mean? They're really, you feel me? Who's to say that the person who built those pipe bombs just failed at building them properly?
Right.
You understand?
Exactly. They got some bad plans on the internet or something like that.
Exactly.
It's intended for these things to go off. You know.
Exactly.
My thing is this. This is my thing. Is that like you said, not only domestic terrorism. It's a way. It's an attempt to suppress people. Because you're trying to scare people into not talking out, not speaking out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to subscribe to Trump personally sending them, but I am going to.
I know he personally didn't send them, but
No, but no, this is my thing. This is what I'm going to subscribe to. The fact is that the way he speaks at these gatherings and the way he pushes these people's buttons, getting them all riled up and getting them worked up. I mean, his what's the word for it? Well, the way he incites. He's inciting, these things to happen. Because he attacks people. He openly attacks people. I mean, people who are coming out as being attacked or been sexually abused and things like that. He's attacking them. People who have democratic or what is it called, liberal? I don't know the terms, the political terms, but the people who lean towards that side, he attacks them. The people that are in the press, he attacks them. And so he's inciting these emotions, and not to say it's his fault that somebody is going to the level of crazy where they decide to send bombs to people to try to shut people up or try to keep people from going after their president. But the thing is that he'd be the person to never tell him to stop. When
he actually had a speech
happened with
the other day. He had a speech. I think it was last night, and they say he kind of softened his tone and tried to promote unity.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. He right. But the thing is that the way he speaks, most of the time he doesn't speak directly to anything. He mumbles and falters on a lot of things that he talks about, especially when he has to backtrack on his own agendas. These agendas that promote disunity.
That's what he did last night.
Yes.
And that's the thing. He always got blamed for somebody on what's going on, or he's always got some reason why he feels like they need to see things his way. And then when he has to backtrack on that,
it's either the media or the Democratic Party. He blamed both the two. Both of them did it. It's never.
Yeah. And that's the thing. He never directly denounces a lot of these things. There's certain things I have heard him denounce, and he always and when he does it, he's straightforward with it. He's very straightforward. He speaks clearly. He talks directly to the issue. But when these things like this come up, he mumbles through it. He throws a bunch of words out there that mean nothing, and he never says anything positive to try to help the situation. And that's the problem we have right now. It's the problem, and that's the thing that needs to stop.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate, and it really, to me, it really ain't devil's advocate. But this is the same issue I had when Obama with black people when Obama was president. Because, and this is what I said when he first got elected, when President Trump first got elected, I said black people gotta expect that same energy that they was projecting out when Obama was president. They gotta expect that same energy back when those people, when Trump got that feel like Trump represent them, those racists. Not all racists are Trump supporters. Not all Trump supporters are racist. Let's be clear on that. But that certain sect, he speaks for them. To them, he represents them. So they're gonna have that same energy. So and this is the point I was getting to. Like we gotta chill on all the time. Like Willie is correct. That rhetoric he uses when he speaks. He definitely incites. A lot of things. He can do better at trying to pull people together. But what you did immediately, like I blame Trump or Trump sent them. See that when we start getting into that type of that back and forth with them, that petty back and forth, you feel me? That just gives them more ammo. That just gives them more because now they feel like they're being attacked. His base feel like he's being attacked, so they're going to come to his defense instead of really us denouncing the act. You feel me? Because at the end of the day, common sense will tell us we know Trump don't want that. You feel me? Like he don't want that. You feel me? He may talk but he don't want you sending bombs to people, killing them on his behalf, because that serves him no purpose. You feel me? Sure. If anything, that'll bring him down. You feel me? So like it's like with Obama. I remember it's like, you feel me? He could do no wrong in our eyes, in black people's eyes. He could do no wrong. And that's the same thing that's going on with them people. Like, they look at him like he can do no wrong, even if he is wrong. So whenever he's being attacked, now they just going to double down. They're just going to double down. And then there's no room to have a conversation. There's no room to bring people together because we're engaging in that petty back and forth is what I call it. You feel me? Like, we got to get rid of that. That's one thing I do agree. I do agree when the what's the Sarah Sanders?
Mhm.
You feel me?
Oh, Sarah.
One thing I did. I think she did it. It's like, we got to stop. She said if the first thing y'all did when it sent out, first thing CNN did, she said it. She said, y'all blame Trump. That's the first thing y'all did. To me, CNN, and they no different from Fox. It's just that they represent the opposite side. You feel me? So they full of propaganda too. Sometimes their reporting isn't accurate and unfair. So they be having so sometimes like when you got
Sarah Sanders and them and Trump and them, they be having fair points. Like when they be like fake news sometimes, when you really do the research on some of this, like yeah, that was fake news. Like y'all reporting on stuff that means nothing, or y'all what's the term now? Now y'all got me tripping. Y'all got me tripping now. What's the term? What newspapers do to sell more copies? They
talking about that sensationalized headlines.
Sensationalized. Exactly.
Yeah.
So now all y'all doing y'all partaking in sensationalism journalism. So it's like, why should I give y'all credence? Why should I even give even somebody on the street? You know what I mean? I'm not picking on you, something. I'm just saying, like when you say that, even if me and your political views line up, it's like I don't want to hear that because that doesn't help, so to speak. You feel me? Like it doesn't help the situation. It doesn't. You feel me? If anything, that just makes somebody else want to send more bombs. Cause like, oh, they didn't get the message.
If y'all listening to me, that's terrible. We ain't nothing but a wee bit, but then again, you never know. So, but like we do.
Go against them.
Yes, but like I said, I say that because that's at my petty moment. I know I'm not that naive to think that this man really sitting there packaging up. I don't that, but I just feel like he's the reason behind it. He may not be physically doing it, but he's the reason behind it.
But some of his fans are naive enough to believe you believe that.
Yeah, but that's yeah. I'm just at my petty moment.
That's the sad truth of America. That's the sad truth of America. Some people will believe anything, one way or the other. But I think I what was that?
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, but I definitely agree, with Clint in terms of, the negativity, the back and forth, all that stuff never helps, and I look at it as being above the pettiness or being above the situation and being able to look at from a standpoint of, we do need to bring a level of togetherness back. We do have to work together, no matter what side of the aisle or political, spectrum you're on, be it, the left, the right, the middle, all the other extra stuff they call it. I think it's all a matter of, needing to understand that, we're people and we all are in this together in America, that we need to be able to work together for the greater good of the country. And I think that, I just think that stuff like this, it shows that people are motivated for the wrong reason. You see what I'm saying? I think that it's showing it. This is telling of the situation that we're in this country right now, is that people are so incited and so worked up and riled up, be it that they're sending bombs or they're blaming certain people for those bombs, or they're reporting, blaming one person or another, or whatever the case may be. It's gotten people so worked up to a point where it's sad because we're acting like little kids, in the political spectrum, in this political world. And nobody wants to just take a step back and say, hey, you know what? Forget all this extra stuff. We need to get this country turned around for the greater good of the country, financially, safety-wise, whatever the case may be. We shouldn't have anybody out here, be it the president, be it senators, be it whoever, that's getting people so worked up that they want to incite riots and violence against each other, or that they want to, or that they have to feel like, that the government's, against them, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? So I think the whole thing is telling you know, but it's telling us that we need to change. You know, this whole situation is telling us we need to change. That's across the board. It's all good people here, but this is across the board. That's what Trump is.
All right. Well, really quickly before we wrap the show, I know y'all. I know. Hopefully, y'all heard about Megyn Kelly and her comments about people should be able to wear black faces. And like basically, that's not verbally what she. That's not what she said verbatim. But she basically was giving said that she don't understand that people for Halloween people should be able to dress the way they want to, and if they want to portray a black person, they should be okay to like. She don't see the harm in it because it's Halloween, and basically she got a lot of backlash about it, and she apologized and didn't know that currently people are still sensitive about blackface.
What? Hold on. So I've been seeing this thing about her getting backlash over blackface. I didn't understand what it was about though.
She was basically having a discussion.
I really hope that she ain't that stupid that she don't realize that people are still sensitive about blackface. Like who's out here still thinking that's okay?
Yeah, she was having a discussion on her
we all know who Megyn Kelly is. Megyn Kelly has always been. She always done that. She always say, she always say some insensitive shit. That's why she lost her last job. She basically was saying, she exactly said that she doesn't see nothing wrong with them wearing blackface if they were in a character for Halloween. If they were being a character, you know what I mean? She ain't say like, oh, I don't see nothing wrong with blackface. There's nothing wrong with it. She wasn't defending blackface.
She was talking about it for Halloween.
She wasn't defending blackface. She was talking about for Halloween, but still, in the way that she said it, you feel me? It was like, how ignorant are you trying to be? You feel me? You're just being ignorant for no reason now. And she's already had issues with people, with different type of people on there, whether it's that they had their different political views or what have you. So, you know, at the end of the day, they made her apologize to actually her staff in-house first. You feel me? That's how deep it got, and then it just went rolling from there. And now, you know, you feel me? She like the female version of
what's her name?
Don Imus or I don't know if y'all remember Don Imus. Me, the nappy head old.
Oh yeah. I think everybody remember him. Mm-hmm. I think everybody remember that comment.
The old boy that just lost his job, man.
Yeah, you talking about what is his name? Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah, Bill O'Reilly. She's a female version of Bill O'Reilly. You feel me? And you know, like I don't even know why people still give her even credence, man.
Well, they was upset because they felt like no, I don't think she did.
Nah, they about to lose her job. She about to lose her job. That's all over the internet.
They was talking about it, and then they talked about bringing back Tamara Hall, who they kicked to the curb for her.
Yeah, she out of there.
But I don't think Tamara's coming back. She got her own stuff going on, ID and ABC. She don't need NBC. Go ahead, Tamara, we with you, bitch. I said, bitch, lovingly. You know how we talk.
If that money's right, Tamara, you go back. You go back to NBC if that money's right. I don't know what that is.
But Al Roker was like, nah, there's no excuse. I don't like. Al Roker was like, because now we done seen Hoda not say nothing about that. What is that Egyptian thing? And she ain't say nothing. Al Roker was like, no, listen, what we not about to do. Her excuse sucks. Let me tell you why it sucks. Like, I don't know if y'all caught that part, but Al Roker basically was like, and you know, he's a weatherman. He was like, listen, let me speak my piece. Because like he said, I was there for the blackface when people were doing the acting in blackface, and he went and talked about that, and he said it was wrong then and it's wrong now. And basically, her comment was she needed to apologize to not only the NBC staff, she should apologize to black people as a whole. Right. And I was like, go ahead, I'm with you. in solidarity. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I really don't know who Megyn Kelly is. I never heard of her before. But I'm not in that. You know, I don't really follow all that stuff. But you know, I just know that if she's got a reputation for saying stupid stuff, then yeah, I definitely agree that it's like, you know, at some point people gotta stop giving her all this publicity for one, you know, or making such a big deal. I mean, I'm assuming it must have been on national TV that she made the comments for it to be this big. But, it was a national TV during a primetime hour. Okay, yeah. So, you know, I think that, yes, I don't watch TV. I don't watch no TV. I don't watch news. I don't watch any of that stuff. So I have, like, no communication with that kind of stuff. Whatever I get, it has to be on the internet. And even then, it's bits and pieces. So I miss a lot of that stuff. You know, I catch a lot of the social stuff just because I follow that stuff for the podcast and for the blogs and stuff. But, you know, I just kind of look at it as more fodder, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's garbage, you know, garbage in, garbage out. You know, my dad always taught me, you know, if you want to get good information, don't go to the dump to get it. You know what I mean? It was like, don't get garbage and expect good things out of it. So, you know, so I wouldn't, like you said, pay attention to a person like that, knowing that all they do is talk about, and that's the thing. It's like people are watching and looking out for stuff like that anyway, just to see what's gonna happen. You know, and they rehire these kind of people because they want that sensationalism. They want, you know, I mean, Howard Stern went through that for a little while until he just went ahead and did his own thing and had his own show made. But, you know, he did that for a while where everybody was trying to hire him just because they were waiting on him to say something crazy or waiting on him to do something stupid. Same thing with your boy Rush Limbaugh when the first time he got caught saying nigga, and then somebody rehired him. They specifically rehired this man just so that they could be the next.
That's who I was talking about.
To have,
that's who I was talking about. Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah. But Rush Limbaugh, man, I mean, you know, that was like what 25 years ago. And when that happened, you know, they brought him. Somebody else gave him a show because they wanted that controversy, you know, and that's what unfortunately that's what sells. That's what gets the ratings. Is people are watching. They watching for the train wrecks. They waiting on train wrecks to happen, and that's all this sounds like. This Megyn Kelly person is just a train wreck, you know. And
this is why people watch Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, this ain't the first time. And like I said, she's gonna get fired again. She could probably get her a show on
CBS.
On Sirius Radio, on satellite radio, something, or satellite TV. If she get her own show, you know, that's where a lot of those dudes go. That's where Don Imus went. That's where Howard Stern went when they all, because they don't got no you can't regulate it. You feel me? They ain't got to worry about FCC and none of that. They can say whatever they want, and you know they can still get paid. That's what's gonna happen.
Or start
you know,
a podcast.
Like with her,
you can say whatever you want there.
I first found out about her with the Jane Fonda when she had the, you know, Jane Fonda came on her show and she like was pressing Jane Fonda about her plastic surgery. That's what Jane Fonda wasn't even there about that. You feel me? And that's what she lost one of her previous jobs before. That's when I because you know they was, you know, talking about her shaming, then she did the fat shaming. Like this is a recurring thing for her. You feel me?
Yeah.
This is a recurring thing for her. She's just a mean, nasty woman. You feel me? And you feel me? She got it. You know, I don't want her apology. Her apology. You know, I hate when black people talk about, just need an apology. Yeah, like apologize for what? You feel me? Well, how's that gonna make you feel better?
I can't accept an apology from a person like that anyway because they don't really mean it. They don't mean nothing.
Exactly. You just saying it. You saying it because it's politically correct and you got caught. So that's
right.
Keep that. Exactly. Shove it.
And out of protocol. I don't need any apology out of protocol. Thank you. I'm straight.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, guys. Let's wrap this show.
It's like being in a class fight. You got to fight in class, and they make you apologize I apologize for punching your face. Like, no, I don't. I don't. I don't. I meant to punch you. I meant to punch you dead in your face.
Smack that in the center of your nose. Anyway, if y'all want to reach me, I am Sunny_D, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. Unreserved is my website.
Well, y'all already know. Y'all can hit me up at Trenton Grooming on Twitter and my blog site at kingstruth.com.
Get at me at Willie Styles everywhere. Hit me up.
Night, guys.
See y'all in 7 days.